Hey everyone, it's Kai, and recently there's been this tweet that's been making waves in the Vanguard Twitter sphere or Twitterverse. I don't know, but it's been a big tweet from none other than Maury P himself, because he just announced that the third Vanguard producer letter will be published this week, and that's all in good. We've been wondering when the third one will be coming out, but the topics are the highlights of this produce letter, and they are the policy for maintaining Cardfight formats and adjustments for the premium format. Right, we've been waiting for premium format changes for a very, very long time, and we're finally getting them. Right, we've been wanting them since before BSFO, and then after BSFO, because after the BSFO they did say, we're gonna look at BSFO and maybe do some changes. There's just been kind of nothing going on for a while, and we've gotten worried. Right, but finally something is happening. Now, people have been saying, look out this Friday. This Friday is when this producer letter is going to come out, and we're going to see all these crazy restrictions. I'm going to tell you guys, we don't know, right? Even I don't know. Right? I don't have a secret uncle working at Bushiroad telling me secret information and texts. I'm just like you guys, having no idea when these things will come out. So, from that, this is all going to be my speculation. This is going to be me speculating over 140 characters on Twitter. Not a great idea, right? Overanalyzing tweets hasn't really had great results, but we're going to do it anyway. Right, so first things first, we don't know if this is going to come out on Friday or not. Based on the previous producer letters, of course, yes, they did come out on a Friday, but we don't know. This could come out today, it could come out tomorrow, it could come out yesterday, or not yesterday, but right now, anything could happen, right? But the second thing is also adjustments to the premium format. I don't think they're gonna announce a ban list on Friday, boys. Right? Do you really think a producer letter is gonna be, hey everyone, you've been waiting for this? Here's the new ban list, and for this entire producer letter, I'm just gonna tell you guys why we changed it this way. It's great, right? No, I don't think it's gonna be like that. Whenever Bushiroad, at least Vanguard side, restrict things, they release a PDF. And it has data, it has what is banned, it has the reasonings for the bans, and they have super crazy reasons why. So I don't think a producer letter is gonna do that, right? It's gonna be adjustments, right? And of course the policies. Of course the policy part I think is very easy. It's just gonna be every time they did restrict something before, they always reiterate these are the reasons why we're restricting cards. I think in the producer letter, they're going to talk a bit more on that, maybe add more, right? Maybe we're going to look way more into the format, see problematic cards earlier, put them more on the watch list quicker, and then, update the ban list quicker as well, right? Because before they used to ban after every tournament, it might be a good idea to ban or make updates to the format constantly, right? Constantly, and not after results are out when we had an entire format of just stuff dominating that's really unfair and unfun. So I think that's where they can do some changes, include the policies, and then do some updates to the policies, right? But the adjustments, let's kind of take a look at that. Again, I'm gonna overanalyze tweets because that's how it is. There was a new tweet today that kind of really changed, or how do you say it, reinforced my outlook on what's gonna happen, and that is this tweet about today's card of the day. Right, so regarding the card Steam Age Ashura that was revealed today, we are aware of its potential in the premium format and will be addressing this issue in an upcoming announcement of adjustments for the premium format. So please wait for more information. So in case you don't know, the new card released today is it's a grade 2 that's 5k based shield. And if you have 7 more cards in your soul, when it's on the Guardian Circle, it's plus 5k more shield, right? So it's a 10k shield. But the second effect is that when it gets retired from the Guardian Circle, it goes back to your soul. So ideally with V Dantarian, you can keep on popping this card out for free shield for every single attack, because you can call cards from your soul to guard, and then after the guard, it just goes back to your soul. And with 4 of these, you have 4 10k shields. That's a lot of free shield, and basically a lot of free guard for Dantarian. So after the card of the day got announced, got shown, Maury posted this pretty quickly. Of course, it's 1:15 p.m. I think usually card of the day is 1 p.m. something like that. Yeah, it was released pretty quickly. So it kind of told me two things, right? Two things. And that is, they didn't know about the interaction. They went, oh, wow, dang, I didn't see this. I'm going to update my producer letter and just kind of change some clarifications, etc. Or they knew about this interaction and they're going, you know what? Let's print it anyway, because it's not going to matter. Our adjustments to the premium format is totally going to change everything, right? So if we think about it from the second point of view, that's a pretty drastic change. But that is something that can be adjusted in a producer letter, right? Because remember, producer letters kind of like, especially the previous ones kind of told you the thought process behind designing things, what they did, but they're just all in all a very high level view on the situation. And I don't see how this one's going to be any different, right? This is gonna, if we look at high level changes to the format, the premium format as a whole, that is basically a big change that could do enough to, you know, change the format. Of course, we did have these high level changes before, right? The stride change was definitely one of them. Before you couldn't stride unless your opponent was on grade 3, but now you can. That's kind of like it's similar to like the master rule changes in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a new update or a new adjustment that makes a huge impact on the entire thing. And we can definitely see that happening because a lot of people have been saying before that premium does need a nuclear change. It needs a huge change. It needs like 20 more updates to the ban list. It needs 20 more choice restrictions. It needs 20 more cards on the watch list because there's so many combos, so many crazy things going on that, you know, it's, if we think about it, is pretty hard to be feasible to make the perfect format. And like going like forwards, going down the track, we're gonna have more problems, right? So what are some, like in terms of card design, so what are some like high level changes that we can maybe expect, right, from a producer letter? There could be things like, you know, certain cards can't be used in, you know, the premium format, like over triggers, that example, right? You know, over triggers, you can't use them in premium. That's an adjustment. It's a very high level, but a big impact. Another thing could be like, you know, stand triggers work differently now. That could be a big change too. It's a big change to the core rule of the game. Also could be things like changing gifts, right? Have you thought of that? You know, gifts maybe don't interact with a G zone, right? Instead of like a G zone, if you have gifts, you can't play a G zone or something like that. So you just have to play a full out, you know, just old V deck, and they don't have to worry about the G zone interactions. That's just something like a big high level change. And if we look at some of the things like the fighters rule, for example, right? Like a lot of V cards really impact the game in such a way that it made this list go crazy. So for example, Ellie, Bermuda got so many. Ellie was already a good card back then, but Bermuda got so many good cards that helped them cycle through their hand and gain more hand and get free cards that Ellie became way too strong, right? Enigma Assassin, I mean, who could have thought? Like, wow, NLK and an Enigma Assassin combo? That's crazy, man. What's another one, right? Let's look at this. Renee and Jam, oh man, what an insane combo. Who thought of these? Who designed these cards, right? So there's a lot of these problematic, like if you think about it, right? V does have a lot of problematic cards in premium that combos very, very excessively strongly with certain cards. So maybe they're looking at a big shift where, you know, like V and like premium interact less, right? If you want to do another Yu-Gi-Oh idea, right? You know, when they introduce links, exceeds and synchro from the extra deck, they kind of change, right? Or pendulums, like the pendulum change, something like that. Like there could be huge like rule changes to the fundamental core game of premium that they're gonna announce in this producer letter rather than a ban list. And like you could kind of think about it this way, right? They took a while to think about how they're gonna change premium. It's been maybe 4 months or something, but it's been a long time. And usually a long time either means they've been overworked or they just don't have a good solution to change it. And remember, we're talking about their prospects of overdress is that it's a 10-year game. Right? For the next 10 years, overdress is going to be important. And that means premium is going to be important too, because anything that gets released for the premium format too. So they have a 10-year prospect on that. They have to think about maybe a huge radical change that will lessen the problems in the future where, you know, if they design a new card, they have to make sure it's relevant, you know, it doesn't break things in premium, because not only do they have to worry about the old cards, they have to worry about this V section where a lot of cards are super broken or super over-spec'd. in comparison with every other card that they've been releasing so far, that could cause a problem, right? So there might be a huge big block change or a big rules fundamentals rule change with the V format itself, or cards relating to V, with everything and how it interacts with the rest of the formats. Hopefully they don't ban it, right? I definitely think they don't ban like V. It's like no V in the premium format, but I think there will be a huge change there. And then that also allows them to design easier cards, not only for like overdress, right? Because again, we see this kind of design space problem where if I release a shooter in this form, V Dantarian is going to break it. But you know, if we don't have to worry about certain rules anymore, then we don't have to worry about that, right? But also, they can release better cards for V Clan collections. That's another thing that's been popping up recently, is that, you know, a lot of us have been looking at the new clan collection, a lot of players and a lot of buyers. They've been looking at it and going, you know, this clan collection feels a bit underpowered. Some effects are quite, you know, creative, and they could be way more creative. But again, when you get more creative, there's more chances of you breaking things. What happens if they're able to change the rules in such a way where, you know, they're now more happily able to power creep V without, you know, worrying that it breaks everything else? They get more creative with some of the cards. Again, a lot of the new clan collections, the positivity has been these cards are so creative. It's really cool to see them be more creative versus before when it was just here, have 3 force markers plus 20k. You know, this gets it's been great. It's just that, you know, if you have to worry about everything else, that becomes a problem. So if there is more, like, you know, limitations to the premium format and how, you know, certain cards interact with each other, then there's much more space in the future for them to design more cards, and the overall power level gets toned way down, right? Way down. That's what we need. That's why we're banning 20 cards. But if we can just do this in one rule change action, or just kind of refresh the way that premium gets played or is thought about, then there is that could become like a positive for the game, right? You have to understand that bans are negatives for the reputation of the game, because you go, oh, they design cards in such a bad way that they need to be banned. But if they can totally change how the way game is played, it could turn that into a positive, and that would be a good thing to see. I mean, there's now like premium as a format definitely getting way more traction than it's been before. People are getting like more interested in it. That's a good thing. And if instead of just banning cards and making people go, you can't use this card anymore, but just changing how certain things happen, I think that could be a good thing. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you actually think there will be a ban list on Friday? I don't think so. Do you actually think the letter will be out on Friday? What do you think will actually change, right? What do you think will actually change? That's what I want to hear. But yeah, apart from that, I hope whatever the producer letter comes out will be good, and hopefully premium will get the attention that it actually deserves. Right, so that's it from me. See you guys from the next video. All right, bye.